Tonight we will be discussing a little bit more about food safety and sanitation. So you have read the chapters and now we're going to do a review. Thank you for being flexible with me as I am out of town on a conference. So first, if you pull up the slides, the PowerPoint for food safety and sanitation, you may notice a picture of a female cooking with the pots and pans, food over. There's a little rodent in the background and a mop. And as you can see, what are some potential hazards here? In relation to foodborne illness, a lot of it happens in the home due to improper cooking temperatures, improper food handling, and also not properly washing your hands. We can avoid these by doing a couple simple things to help ensure that our food is safe to consume. When we eat out at restaurants, people have been trained for food safety and how to properly handle food. However, a lot of people cooking at home don't understand the proper methods. A couple of issues here is one, there's rodents. We never want to have rodents, so you want to make sure that you're looking for evidence of any type of pest. So you can look for maybe some droppings or crumbs, try to put away so you don't attract any rodents. Making sure that all of the outside areas are sealed, so let's say not leaving your door open because that can attract rodents inside. Additionally, you want to make sure that you are wearing proper attire, your hair should be pulled back. This lady's necklace is a potential contamination because maybe a bead can fall off, or her bracelet. So we want to make sure that we're not wearing jewelry, properly washing your hands, not using a bunch of utensils, and then also, of course, that mop has a lot of dirty bacteria on it, and it's very close to that pot. So these are just a couple of things that you can think about, and also when you're at home, you want to consider everything that you are doing with foodborne illnesses. So the next question is, the best way to kill disease causing bacteria in food is by A, cooking food to high temperatures, B, storing food at low temperatures, C, using strong dishwashing detergent, and D, using sanitizer for hand washing. Hand washing is the first and foremost most important part of decreasing your risk of getting a foodborne illness. We'll be discussing a couple other things along the way during this lecture. So here are some general definitions. A foodborne illness refers to any illness caused by the ingestion of food. Foodborne illness. Pretty simple. A couple of types of hazards for foodborne illness are the following. One would be biological. This is any type of living organism such as mold or fungus. Number two is chemical contaminations. So chemical contaminations can be, let's say, a sanitizer like bleach you use to clean the countertop. Maybe it's spilled into some soup because you weren't paying attention. Physical would be any type of foreign object. So as we discussed on that last slide, on that last slide is if a bead from a necklace falls off, or if, let's say, a fake fingernail falls off, or hair. Those are all examples of physical foodborne illnesses. So if you look at that next table, 3.1, these are different types of foodborne hazards. So as we discussed, the biological are things like bacteria, mold, parasites, viruses, etc. Chemicals are simply any type of chemical, whether it be agriculture or industrial chemicals like that bleach that we discussed. And then physical is going to be anything that should not be in that product. Maybe a part of the plastic spoon broke off, or maybe some of your metal whisk broke off. Any type of thing. Bone there hopefully doesn't refer to human bone, however, it could be a potential, but really bone is talking about the bone of, let's say, chicken or beef that didn't get deboned from that breast. So given the choices below, which is the second most outbreaks? Is it viral, chemical, bacterial, parasitic, or unknown? Bacteria is the number one result of illness. So bacteria is produced by disease or produced from spoiled food. A food infection is a very high microbial load which overloads the gastric HCl or stomach acid. This inactivates all organisms so they invade the host cell. This can cause inflammation or fever. A food intoxication is when bacteria grows on food and releases toxins that then cause an illness. And finally, a bacterial toxin mediated infection occurs when bacteria enters the GI tract, then starts to produce a toxin within that illness. You will find on table 3.3 and 3.4 several different types of bacterial food infections listed. It'll tell you the duration of that potential bug to be present in your food. It will tell you the principal symptoms, whether you're going to get diarrhea, fever, vomiting, dehydration, some common foods you may find, a mode of contamination, and then also how to prevent that particular disease. Now, again, as we've stated, it's very important to ensure that you are washing your hands properly before handling food. Wherever you end up, if you end up preparing food for people or the children, make sure that you teach good, proper hand washing. Hand washing should make you at least sing happy birthday twice. So you want to get hot soapy water and wash your hands, scrubbing underneath your fingernails, scrubbing between your hands, and sing happy birthday to yourself twice. Then you can ensure that you have indeed washed your hands well enough to kill any potential bacteria. Let's say you used the bathroom or you didn't wash your hands fully. Another way that a lot of people contaminate their food is through cross-contamination. It's very important to make sure that you're using different knives and different cutting boards for your produce and your meat products. Particularly if you're using poultry, they have a high risk of carrying foodborne illnesses, so they must be handled with even more care. You want to make sure that you're using separate utensils and not using the same knife that you just finished cutting the raw chicken to now cut fresh produce. You want to wash and sanitize that knife and cutting board before you use the fresh fruits and vegetables. Other simple things is just proper attire, making sure that you don't have baggy, loose clothes on, no jewelry, pull your hair back, and wear a hairnet, especially if people who have beards need to wear some type of beard net. There are a lot of potentials for food safety and lots of opportunities to educate. So it's important that we let our children know and let our family know how important proper food handling is and washing your hands. Again, I cannot state enough how important washing your hands is.